What's up, guys? Andy BC Builds here. Just wanted to show you two machines that I got. I actually got a few more of them. These are Arizona Tattoo Supply fireflies. Yeah, there's no such thing as an original firefly, like they say. Yes, this basically is a dragonfly clone. It's a copy of the dragonfly frame. Except for Arizona Tattoo Supply makes it. I think they sell for like $160, the same price as a hummingbird. But I'm telling you right now, I didn't pay anything near that. I paid a lot less. I actually got 6 of them. Probably were stolen. Got them for damn near nothing compared to what they sell for. You look at them and they look similar to a dragonfly, and also a dragonfly clone. I'm pretty sure it's the same frame as a dragonfly clone is. It's the same type of metal, which I believe it's a soft aluminum. Not a soft aluminum, but not a super high grade aluminum. I'm saying it's a lower grade aluminum, and it's painted frames, and they're not anodized like the hummingbird. They're lighter, they're a little lighter. This one I'm going to show you first is the shader. They both can do either one, just how I have it set up now. This is a gold, kind of looks yellow in this light, but it's gold. I did change a few things out on this. Just give you a quick look. I took the RCA that was in the hole and I took it out because that RCA jack on both of them kind of sucked. Honestly, it was a little small, a little narrow. Or maybe this one, the hummingbird RCA port, is a little thicker than normal, so it kind of stretched out all my RCA cables, the ends. So originally, these the RCA jacks that were in the machines were too small. The cable just kept falling off the back. So I went and bought new ones from Best Buy, and I didn't mount them in the hole. I just didn't like that placement. I liked them off to the side. I'd like to do it to the hummingbirds too. But I use the same method as I have before. I'm not going to go over it. Just a copper lug and wires. Pretty self-explanatory. Doesn't fall off. I changed the rest of the hardware. The binding posts that had nickel-plated binding posts. I checked them out. They had a lot of resistance to them. It was like over 2 ohms, which is really not good. It's too much resistance. It'll bog down the power. And I changed the vice screw out on both of them. This is the shader. Well, what I'm going to use for the shader, and this is the liner. They both can be set up as either or. You can twist the cap on the top. And as you can see, I have electric tape around the caps. Just because I pulled the caps off to put super lube, and inside the cap there's a little metal ring that keeps them tight, and I managed to lose both of them. So the caps will go on and they'll stay on, they're just kind of loose. So I taped them. That's no fault to the manufacturer, that's my dumbass fault. Just say that right off the bat. So I'm going to run this. This is at 7 volts. This is not a quiet machine. It's kind of comparable to the hummingbird. Well, at least when it's on, set for a shader really loose, it makes a clacking sound just like the hummingbird. You see I have the rubber band around it. That's honestly, it's not really holding anything in place. Just because I don't like these needle bar tensioners. Not these in general. All of them in general, even on the hummingbird, I'd rather use rubber bands. I'd use them on the hummingbird, but I can't. Just the way there's nothing to wrap it around in the back and slide right off. These I can get away with it. This one I haven't taken the needle bar tensioner off yet. But the stroke on this is about 3 millimeters, 3 to 3.5, depending on how soft it is, how you set it up. And this is about midway on the softness. I can go more, but this is how I prefer it. Unlike most dragonfly clones, where the give system doesn't work for shit or at all, it's basically just for show, these, the fireflies, Arizona Tattoo Supply fireflies, the give systems actually work really well. Works just as well as, my Diablo Swiss or my hummingbirds. Very well. Actually, I can get this softer. Another problem there is I got to change is the return spring, which is in there, being held in by that set screw, really isn't strong enough, so the needle doesn't always return. Most of the time it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'll show you over here how soft this is at 7 volts. I'll get a light over here for you guys. That's soft foam paper, and do it right again in here. It's hard to see. It's hard to see, but it's very light. It didn't chew the paper up at all, even when I run it sideways. Just a thin indent, pretty much from the tube touching it. This thing runs really soft. Also, what I changed in it is the motors. Not that the motors were bad. They were a Swiss type motor. They were not Maxon motors. And I'm not sure if they were actually made in Switzerland. I doubt it. When I say Swiss type motor, basically I mean brushless and coreless. It's not as nice as the Hummingbird motor, but it's the same style. This one is actually made in Switzerland, well, Germany. This one had the same type of motor. I'm pretty sure it was manufactured elsewhere. These motors right here are Japanese motors. They're not shit China motors. These are Mabuchi motors. I was actually turned on to these when I got my Forza Fanatic force feedback steering wheel for Xbox 360. It had all Mabuchi motors in it, and I ended up switching those out all over time for Maxons, and I had some motors left over. These were the vibration motors, like when you would crash in the game, it would vibrate the whole wheel, which were really powerful, and they didn't have a lot of hours on them, so I put them in here, and they fit perfectly. They are the exact diameter. So these are, they're not as nice as a Maxon, but these motors are better than the Swiss ones that came in it. I'm not sure how long they'll last compared to the other motor. Like I said, I only used the other motor on one tattoo, and I've used these on 2 so far. So I'm not exactly sure how long a Mabuchi motor will last, but Mabuchi is the same company that makes the Storm and the Stealth rotary motors. People don't know that. The Storm and the Stealth get their motors from the same brand of manufacturer, which is Mabuchi. This I have also swapped out. And just that you can tell that this is a Mabuchi and not just one of those Dragonfly motors. Hold on one second, let me grab something. Gotta loosen something, sorry guys. Kinda hard. And shitty Dragonfly clones, like the really bad ones. Not that this is nowhere as nice as a real Dragonfly. It's a Firefly. It's nice. It's nice for the price I got it for. I wouldn't pay $160 for it, not at all. But it's nice for the money I paid for them. They work really well, and they've done an awesome job. But what I'm trying to say is, in the really shitty Dragonfly copies that you can buy from like $6 to $13 off of eBay, have one of these motors in there. See, it's a square motor. Well, it's a circle motor that's, circle and square. I don't know what shape that is, sorry guys. But it's flat on the sides, you see that? Basically, they take one of these motors, this is a shitty Chinese motor, in this, and they take basically a hollow motor case and they slide it in. And you see the holes in the motor right there in the face? That's for set screws. This also has them too. And what they do is they basically get either a circle plate that goes around the front of the motor. They screw it right to the front of the motor so it looks like it's a circle motor in there. And the way you can tell by looking at the pictures online, if it's one of those shitty square motors, you look at the motor online. If you see 2 brass screws on either side, that means the motor's bolted to a faceplate, and it means it's one of those square ones. This one has neither of those. It doesn't have the set screws. You can even see in there the motor. It is a full circle Mabuchi motor. If you guys want me to take it out, you want the serial number. It is an awesome motor. That's 7 volts. But I can't bog it out. Well, I can if I push it sideways, but up and down, no. I'm pushing. And the give system works awesomely. The needle bar lines up. It lines up correctly. You'll get those hummingbirds that sit backwards or lean to the side. They just don't line up correctly. These ones do. That was the shader. Well, I gotta change the cable. Sorry, guys. Doing this all one-handed. Sorry for a shaky video. But, Okay, and then this is to the liner. I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I wouldn't line with 7 volts. I'm turning it up to about 8.7 volts. You guys can see. This is the liner. We'll set up as a liner. Like I said, I lost the ring in the cap, so I had to take the cap too. I'll find the rings eventually. This I've also swapped. It's got a Mabuchi motor. It's not one of those shit square motors, Chinese. This is a Japanese motor. Same as in the Storm and the Stealth. Now this isn't that quiet. You can hear it. But no give. This has the same give system as the other one. I'm pushing and it's not ball game. It's not heat. No. And so far with these motors, and as these two are set up as they are right now, I've used these for about 2 tattoos, maybe about 8 hours total on both of them. So about 4 hours piece. This has got almost the exact same stroke length as a Hummingbird. The Hummingbird's about 3.2 and this is about 3. You know, so it's good because I prefer a longer stroke, especially for lining. Just how I am. And why it's making that weird sound, that buzzing and louder sound, is because when I tape this cap on, I taped it on crooked. I don't know if you can tell. So that the twist screw in there is banging off the edge of it. But I'll line this real quick. See, I didn't get stuck once. And it's cutting right through that. I don't know if you guys can see it, you know. And it's not super thin foam paper either. It's about 1/4 of an inch. Maybe a little less, 1/4 and 1/8 between that, whatever it is. You know, so honestly, if you guys are going to pay $160 for one of these, I wouldn't. For the same price, you get a Hummingbird, and I gotta say, Hummingbird is, not that it performs all that much better, because there's not much of a difference. I know this will last. This has got over 2,000 hours on it, and this one's a beast. Longevity, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't used these much. Just quality-wise, this is aluminum frame, and these are aluminum too. I know that they are aluminum. It's a lower grade. This is anodized. It's not painted. It's not metallic paint. That is an anodized aluminum frame, and it's CNC cut. This is it's molded. I think it's molded, like a high injection molding, I believe, something like that. Or maybe it's just a poor CNC cut. Not that there's any imperfections in the frame. There's tiny ones, ones you can barely see. But that's the sign of a real quality machine, like, you know, a real Dragonfly or one of the, you know, a Hummingbird. You don't see the imperfections in the metal. Now, my Hummingbird has scratches. That's because I used the shit out of it. But the metal is legit, you know. All it is missing parts of the anodized shit. Anyways, run that again. And this, as it sits right now, is running around 120 cycles per second. Loaded. This thing runs hot and runs fast. This motor's got a lot of power to it. These Mabuchi motors, I looked them up, and it says they're rated at about 11,000 RPMs. And I think, I'm not sure what that's at, but anyways, this is running from, I think, 110 to 120 cycles per second with the needle in it. Roughly. Like I said, it does make that funny noise because I put the cap on crooked, but you know, did the same thing. I pulled the RCA out on this one. I moved it up to the side, and new binding posts and new thumb screw in the front. Oh, this one I took the needle bar tensioner off. I like rubber bands more. I've just used them for so long. The needle bar tensioner is just odd to me. It's hard to line my needles up for lining because I like a lot of tension. A lot of tension on my needles because I run fast. No, I'd actually line it at about 9.1. I move fast. and the faster you move, the more likely that needle's going to smack around. So I like a lot of tension. I put a lot of bend on my needle, but when you do that, it's kind of hard to get the needle to come straight out the tube with the needle bar tensioner. I just find it easier with rubber bands. So, for the price I paid for these, awesome deal. The motors I put in them, the Mabushi, makes them even better. A few little mods. I'll make another video. I'll show you the other motors that were in it. They are quality motors. They're a little quieter than these too. The machines ran quieter, but and they had power, just not as much power. That's it, guys. Arizona Tattoo Supply Azts Firefly. Gold and red. If you really want to spend the money, they do work, and I have done a few tattoos with them, and I don't have any complaints. But they don't have really any hours on them, so honestly, I'd wait until I make another review, a few months from now, because I'm going to use them, and then I'll let you know how they run then. That's it, guys.